I'm Hannah.
And I'm Natalie. Welcome to the Stride Sisters podcast. On today's episode, we're heading into the jungle to wish a wild and wonderful happy birthday to Disney's Animal Kingdom. We're diving into the park's history, sharing our favorite memories, and celebrating yours. Plus, we're talking about what the future could hold and how upcoming changes might shake up the runDisney marathon course. Will we still be climbing Everest mid-race or running through something totally new? Let's celebrate the park that brings the adventure, the animals, and the heart. So, lace up your shoes, get ready for a safari, and step into the magic with us. Holiday or something. Whatever it was that you were celebrating or are celebrating this week, we hope it was a good one.
Do you have any training updates, Natalie?
No, not really. I mean, I've been doing a little bit of training here and there, but something I've been trying to talk myself out of feeling guilty for, when long run Saturdays or even just running on Saturdays is so ingrained in you and you just wake up and I'm like, I don't want to. I'm trying to let some of the guilt of that go because I don't have to be doing that right now.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm not in a marathon training block right now and that will end quickly. So I'm trying to let go of the guilt and just enjoy, I don't have to do it.
Yeah. That's good.
How about you?
Not quite. I did finally unpack all of my workout clothes, so that's a good step in the right direction. And they're semi-organized in the house. I also located a gym nearby that I can use. That's not like the gym we used to belong to is now well over 30 minutes away, which is just, I'll commute that for work, but I don't really want to commute that for a gym. And it's not like it's next to my office, so I can stop on the way or something.
Yeah.
So I found a new gym. That's good. So that'll help get us back into the swing of things. And just, I think in general, life is feeling less chaotic due to more unpacking happening and knowing where things are. And we're settling into a routine. We got a lawnmower.
Exciting.
So, our lawn was looking really shaggy and I was starting to feel really bad about it. This is not training related, but house related. Because all the other neighbors, their lawns look very nice and we didn't have a lawnmower. So especially our backyard was just out of control. It was a paradise for bugs though, because it was a jungle. But we finally got it cut today and we're waiting for, there's supposed to be rain coming up this week. That will allow us to fertilize and weed and all that jazz. We've got two different kinds. We got the spreader for the feed and weed section.
Oh yeah.
And then we've also got the spray to attach to the hose for the, I don't know, other things.
Oh yeah.
So the next lawn appliance we will need to acquire is an edger and probably a blower. We might see if we can borrow a neighbor's. I have big plans on baking cookies to hopefully befriend our neighbors. So, fingers crossed.
That is smart. Mm-hmm. I was going to bring up snow blowers and befriending neighbors for that, but if you guys get snow down there, I don't think anybody leaves their house.
Nope.
So anyway, so especially a big problem down there. But yeah, hashtag lawn posting is back. It never left. Yeah,
I'll let you know on the progress. Maybe we'll post some progress photos in the stories.
Yeah, we just cut the lawn for the first time this season, and by we I mean Mr. Natalie did, and it all like because I was feeling really good about the lawn because it was like, oh,
Mhm.
it's like a lot of it came up back like lush and green and whatever. And it seems like most of that is what we like cut off.
Oh.
Not exactly. There's still plenty of like nice lush green, but it seemed like some of the darkest, like
Mhm.
lushest green was what got cut. So that hit the ego a little bit, but also fertilized this weekend. And then
Mhm.
we have rain now. So we are hopefully I did an okay job with because the first time I fertilized my lawn, you could see gigantic stripes
Mhm.
because I like getting used to the spreader and like what exactly, it's a whole thing. So you
Mhm.
could see where I really, really saturated the lawn. I did a really good job on those parts. But yeah, I'm hoping for the best as as things I know sometimes it's a little bit of a trust the process thing and
Mhm.
as long as you don't burn your grass um by putting in fertilizer when it like and not like whatever. This is not a lawn care podcast though. um as I oh yeah, we had voles too, so we have
Oh, no.
yes, we had I had people are coming to I am not a Disney princess. I don't want the woodland creatures in my house under my cement anywhere near me. So we're getting them out. I have not seen one yet myself, but this our sprinkler guy told us that he's like, "Oh yeah, they've been digging. It looks like they're digging all under your patio." I'm like, "Fantastic. How do I do something about that?" So we are evacuating them.
Gotcha, gotcha. Yeah, we need to get a plumber in to look at our hot water because our sink takes. The previous owners warned us that the sink would take a while to heat up, but it turns out it doesn't just take a while to heat up. It takes a while, and then you only get like a couple minutes of hot water and goes cold again. So something's up.
Yeah,
We're gonna figure it out.
home ownership.
We're getting ready for our 30s, people. Our lives are exciting.
Yeah.
All right, let's do some Run Disney dates. We've got 135 days until Disneyland Halloween Half Marathon 2025. We have 184 days until Wine and Dine Half Marathon Weekend 2025. Your proof of time deadline is just about a week away on May 1st. You've got 260 days until Marathon Weekend 2026. Your shirt deadline is on June 15th, 2025, and your proof of time deadline will be July 1st, 2025. We have 282 days until Disneyland Half Marathon Weekend 2026. Club Run Disney registration is today.
Woohoo.
Woohoo! Today record or drop of April 22nd, 2025. So if you're listening in the future, you missed it. General registration is next week on April 29th, 2025. We are not registering for this one, right, Natalie?
No, I
Just go ahead
can't.
and
I
quash
can't.
those
I'm
for
not doing it. I'm not doing it. I can't do it. I want to, but I can't.
But please let us know if you are, because we'll be so excited to hear about it. And maybe we'll have you on the podcast to talk about it.
Exactly.
We have 310 days until Princess Half Marathon Weekend 2026. Club Run Disney registration is on June 17th, 2025. And general registration is on June 24th, 2025. We have 359 days until Springtime Surprise Weekend 2026, with Club Run Disney registration on July 22nd, 2025, and general registration on July 29th, 2025. We are finally under 1 year mark to Springtime Surprise.
Woohoo. And see, it will be under 300 to Princess in like no time.
Yeah. It'll just keep ticking down, and every single time we reach another milestone, we'll be like, whoa, can't believe it happened so fast.
Yeah, that's the interesting thing about numbers and dates and tracking it this way. It's like, I don't know. Oh, it's like when you see something that's faded and like yeah, I don't even know if I like that and that analogy that much, but I'm gonna keep rolling with it. Like if like your paint fades somewhere,
Hmm.
it's like, until you see something repainted, it's like, whoa. But if you're looking at it week by week, I don't know. That was a bad analogy. I'll stick to my day job. Um, and apparently my day job is Disney News. Something that it's a little bit older news for this week, but we didn't bring it up yet. So both water parks are going to be open this summer.
Yeah. Woo.
So I'm definitely was happy to hear that. But on May 1st, Blizzard Beach will close for a couple week long refurbishment, and then Typhoon Lagoon will reopen. And then between May 21st and September 7th, both water parks will be open all summer. And then on the 7th of September, Blizzard Beach will close and then Typhoon will remain open. Usually it's until like the beginning of November, and then they switch off. But it'll be the first time both water parks will be open since before COVID.
Wow.
Even like before that, because switching off in the winter was always their norm of one going down for refurb. So 2019 was the last time both water parks were open.
Dang.
Yeah.
That's
insane.
like almost, wait, is that 6 years? Or
It'll
5?
be about 6 by like this fall, because I think it would have been sometime in the fall that whichever was the first one to go down went down.
Dang.
Yeah, crazy, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you're staying on site this summer, your check-in water park day is you got to pick one water park, so you cannot hop between them. But exciting times.
Mm-hmm.
Movie tickets are on sale for the theatrical re-release of Star Wars Episode 3: Revenge of the Sith, which will celebrate its 20th anniversary this week. I remember seeing that in theaters.
I do not, but oh my goodness, this is I don't know if I planned this well. Ben and I are going to see Toy Story at our local like small cinema in
Ooh.
town on Thursday, which is the day before. Okay, we still have a chance. I can look for tickets and see this too.
Maybe I'll get Mr. Natalie too for a little bit of prequel action. Maybe I'll be able to get him, convince him to do that. But I can't believe it's been 20 years since I remember
It's so
leaving.
long.
And like obviously, like I think I went in knowing enough about like how it led into episode 4, and like that wasn't
Mhm.
like a happy ending of sorts. Like I knew that, but I remember like being somewhat bewildered of like, huh, what just happened? Obviously, again, it had to end certain ways. Some of it maybe not, but at least that, like, Darth Vader had to come to be the way. I'm sorry if that was a spoiler for you. Had to
It's been
come to
20
be.
years. I don't think that's our fault.
I would hope so, but had to come to be that way. But kind of wild. In the Star Wars realm, we have some updates coming to Smuggler's Run, which will come next year. So next May in 2026. But we got a little bit of information about that. You're going to be able to select what destination you're going to when they or up the ride, either Best
Oh.
Spin. It'll be the Death Star 2 wreckage that's above Endor and Coruscant. And the engineer is who gets to select it.
Yep.
So
They've been, the rumors have been out for a while that they were, and I think we talked about them actually on the pod, but that they were going to make a change and engineer was going to become a very important person. So this is exciting.
it is. I was saying
I
to
want to
Mr.
take care of
Natalie.
Grogu.
Yes. So yeah, that's also something is that you get to you take care of the baby Yoda, the Grogu, because you're now going to be going on missions with the Mandalorian. And I have not actually seen all of the Mandalorian, so I just
Oh.
have seen a lot of baby Yoda memes in my time. So that's about all I got there. But exciting times. I like to see the engineer become a little more important, but it's also like not the worst place to just kind of vibe and like take in the experience.
Mm-hmm.
Because
I've
like
just only ever been engineer.
oh really?
I mean, maybe as a kid I was the other ones. I'm sure as a kid that I was, but as an
Well, it's
adult, I've
new.
only ever had to sit.
So it's
Well, yeah. Yeah, so I've only ever been an engineer.
oh. Oh, we have to get you into the pilot sometime.
Yeah. Ben and I always get saddled with like a family of 4 or whatever, and the kids always get to they always put the kids up front.
Yeah.
Just fine. I don't want to take a spot from a kid.
Yeah. It stinks though when you're like because you can do single rider, and single rider is almost guaranteed to get engineer
Mhm.
unless you need 3 single riders, and they don't have another party of 3. Then one of you might be a gunner. Um, I did one time get pilot off of single rider, but that was end of the night at Disneyland and lightning strike type thing, like
Yeah.
1 in a million, not normal. Um, and but usually like they're going to get engineer if you go through single rider. So it always stinks when you get engineer and you went through with a lightning lane or you waited in the line. It's like, oh, brutal. But I'm not going to ever say anything because like I'm not going to be that person.
Yeah.
Um, but especially if there's like kids who are piloting, it's like, yeah, I'm not going to complain. And it's also, I don't know, it's kind of fun. It's fun how it's always a little different, but I'm excited that they're revamping the experience. It'll be cool to see the different options that you have in your missions and that they're actually going back to the original trilogy for that. So very exciting. Well, original trilogy plus Coruscant is more, I guess, prequel trilogy, but exciting times. It's an exciting summer for pass holders as well. VIP pass holder dates have been announced for the summer. Not a lot of information yet about what it means, but we have the dates for it. May 14th to July 31st. There's going to be a new magnet, additional discounts, a pass holder lounge to return, and really it's just more details to come at this point.
Is it crazy to like think about just going for one night, finding a cheap plane just so I can get my magnet?
No, because I've thought about doing it for way dumber things. So like in my head, I Delulu planned like, what if I did the Orlando Informer event in June? Like,
right. Yeah.
stop,
Do
Natalie.
they have one
No,
in July?
no,
Darn it.
no. It's beginning of June, and then I think the next one they'll have is in November, if I remember correctly.
Well, okay. Well, I'll still consider the magnet trip. Probably not, but I'll think about it and waffle on it.
Yeah, a lot of the hotel deals are pretty good for the summer because there's something else happening down the street.
Mm-hmm.
And weird. And with Epic opening, I feel like we're going to see some fire deals upcoming.
Yeah. I would go down just for a weekend to do that, but I can't do that without Ben, so.
True. Fair.
All right. What's our Disney fun fact this week?
Oh, I'm so glad you asked. So
It's
this
the perfect transition, so.
It is. So this goes into our main full episode topic is that on this day in 1998, Animal Kingdom opened.
Woo!
Yay!
This would be a good time for people to be able to see the video feed of me acting like one of those blow up people at car lots. Woo!
Yay! Limbs a flurry. We are excited.
We are definitely excited. Some people may think DAC is a half-day park. I am not one of those people, and they can go home. I am stoked to talk about Animal Kingdom.
Yeah, you can go home after half the day, and then I'll stay there and be like, okay, bye. To go into a little bit of the history and development of the park is that the planning started not too long after the opening of MGM, now Hollywood Studios, in 1989. Joe Rohde is a very famous Imagineer, and he was the main Imagineer on the project. And the Imagineering team took lots of trips to Africa and Asia to immerse themselves culturally and really study and do justice to the areas that they wanted to build within the park. Originally in the design process, it was called Disney's Wild Kingdom, and this got scrapped because it couldn't clear the trademark with the, drumroll please, Mutual of Omaha Insurance Company. as the
You are a hoot, Natalie.
when I can bring up Omaha in the state of Disney, it's not it's rare, so it's a good time. Um, it had a TV show on this air in syndication for a long time, so they weren't able to clear they knew they weren't going to be able to clear that trademark.
Mm.
Originally, it was to focus on three different types of animals: real, ancient, and imagined. There's a dedication plaque outside the park that mentions that.
Yeah. They're
But
killing it though. Let's focus on the past.
true. Beastly Kingdom was really where the imagined ones, it never came to be, but that's why you see like a dragon and all the signage are on the park. If you ever wondered why there's like a dragon, we're not at Universal, we're not at Shrek Swamp. It was because of Beastly Kingdom. And it was either Dinoland USA or Beastly Kingdom that was going to be the first built. But due to the budget constraints, and they had opened Euro Disney, and that didn't go super well. And this was already going to be quite the expensive park due to the, animals to keep alive in there. And Dinoland won it because it was the less expensive of the two, so lower budget. At opening, Animal Kingdom featured Discovery Island, Africa, Dinoland USA, and Camp Mini Mickey. Not Asia.
Yeah.
That opened shortly after in 1999. The closest thing I could find to an opening date was that Cali River Rapids and the Maharaja Jungle Trek opened on March 1st of 1999. But I never realized that Asia was not an original part of the opening of the park in almost less than a year till it opened. But kind of wild. Ha. Ha ha. The biggest expansion that we've had to date was the Pandora World of Avatar. Was announced in 2011, opened in 2017. It replaced Camp Mini Mickey. And that was the reason that the Festival of the Lion King got moved to a new theater in Africa. Camp Mini Mickey closed in January of 2014 to make way for it.
That was that's a long lead up. 6 years ahead of time they announce it, and then 3 years of construction.
I feel like that's like the Avatar way, though.
Yeah, that's true.
Like that's very on brand for an Avatar movie to need like a lot of
I mean,
a lot of build.
It was such a joke when we were growing up about after the first Avatar movie came out that I knew like there was Facebook pages created about all the different sequels that we're going to create, and then people would say coming in and the date would be like 30 years in the future.
Match made in heaven. Yeah.
So when they announced the second one, I thought it was fake news for a little while, if I'm being honest.
I'd say this is an AI generated poster, but
Yeah.
we didn't have as much AI back then when that came out. So oh man. Yeah, it's again very on brand for Avatar to have a nice long lead.
They do a great job though. And they did a great job with the park, so.
Oh, fantastic. There are 7 themed areas to Disney's Animal Kingdom. The Oasis is the entrance to the park, the Main Street USA, if you will. It has the Rainforest Cafe there.
Have you ever been to that Rainforest Cafe?
Oh, I have been to that Rainforest Cafe.
I have not.
Besides the camp of the experience,
yeah,
you're not missing much in the culinary sense.
Yeah, no, I don't remember Rainforest Cafe having like top tier food. I'm pretty sure I used to love it as a kid. I went to the one in the Woodfield Mall in Illinois back in the day. I think it might still be there, to be honest.
No,
did it die?
That one died. So the reason I have such a good positive control on what all the Rainforest cafes are is Eddie Burback is a YouTuber.
I've seen that video.
And he road tripped. So it's gonna drop the link in the show notes. He road tripped with a friend to all the Rainforest cafes in the United States and Canada.
Yes.
And it's a beautiful, wonderful journey watching somebody's descent into madness.
Mhm.
Uh,
And if that really gets you hooked in and you wanna follow up, he also went to all of the, Jimmy Buffett, what is it?
Margaritaville.
Margaritavilles. And I don't even think he knew who Jimmy Buffett was
Yeah,
at the time.
he didn't know a lot about Jimmy Buffett. But absolutely hilarious. That's how I learned that this is the only the only rainforest cafe is the one connected to Animal Kingdom, is the only one that has breakfast,
Ooh.
at least per Eddie in 2022. Um, Instru 22, 23, I think. I don't remember. I know that it was sometime in the last couple of years that they did,
Mhm.
because it's like because I think in 24 they didn't do a road trip to. So it was 22 he did a rainforest cafe, and 23 he did Margaritaville, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
Because then I think Jimmy Buffett died not too long after that.
Mm.
Anyway, hashtag safari fries. Mr. Natalie keeps threatening, because we've watched the Eddie Burback video so many times, that he's like, not threat, but he's like, no, you should go to we should go to the Rainforest Cafe for the lulz. I'm like, yes, but like, no. There are so many better places to eat at Disney's Animal Kingdom. He's like, yes, but it would be funny. I'm like, yes, it would be funny. However, like, do you really want to have uh first of all, coldest air conditioning like on Disney property? Or I just
Mm.
always as a kid went in there after having gone on Cali River Rapids earlier that day, so I was already damp and the AC was cold. I remember like the brownie volcano was good though for dessert.
Yes. So good.
So good. Cha Cha the tree frog. Anyway, another land is Discovery Island, which is home to the Tree of Life. The Discovery Island Trails, Winged Encounters, which is all the birds that'll fly around by the Tree of Life. Restaurants include the Flame Tree Barbecue, Pizza Safari, and Tiffin's, which means Nomad Lounge.
Woo!
Woo! Oh, we love it. Pandora World of Avatar, our, new hotness for the moment. um,
It also has really good food.
excellent food. And amazing theming. Has Flight of Passage, which is our most e-ticket individual lightning lane or lightning lane single pass. I'll get it right eventually, and then we'll change it. Um, I still refer to it as MGM every so often, so we're working on it. But you ride on the back of a Banshee. There's, for little ones, there's a boat ride called Navi River Journey, and
It's
there's
for the big ones too.
yes, it's for everybody. But if you don't feel like you're going to ride on the back of the Banshee, but there's that for little ones. Really, really cool animatronic. Satuli Canteen.
Chef's kiss.
Oh, excellent place to get breakfast, lunch, and dinner at the World of Avatar. There's also a little hut outside that makes very delicious mixed drinks, like kind of like a frozen. I think it's called a rum blossom. Yeah. Well, with the non-alcoholic one wouldn't be called the rum blossom, so I'm going to go with that. And right outside of Satuli Canteen, Africa has one of the probably premier attractions at Animal Kingdom, which is the Kilimanjaro Safari. It's like a 20-something minute safari around a savanna. It's absolutely incredible. Some changes that's gone through over the years is that there used to be a storyline in which you saved elephants from the poachers. My husband was upset that you no longer saved animals from the poachers, and then he got over it quickly when he learned that that's because there's more animals in there now than there were when he was a kid. And I was like, well, Mr. Natalie, pats him on the shoulder, and I go, it's because we saved them all. It's because our hard work on the safaris in the mid 2000s saved all the elephants from the poachers. So we don't have to do that storyline anymore. But it's awesome in seriousness. Some other things that you can do, there's a Wild Africa trek, and we'll talk a little bit more about that later, which is like a essentially behind the scenes tour of the savannah and the safari. If you've ever noticed that there's people walking above you when you're on the safari, or just, weird looking like things where it like almost looks like a zip line, or things where people could be hooked in. That's that. Um, Absolutely, it's a great tour. Other things in Africa is Festival of the Lion King, which is a lovely show. If you haven't had the time to see it yet, I definitely recommend it. Um, Definitely like scratches the itch for like live performance, and just it's very, very well done. Some of the like this, they're singing, tumbling, um, birds, not real birds in this case, but all kinds of things, and the songs you know and love from Disney's animated classic, The Lion King. Attached to Africa is Rafiki's Planet Watch, which is the only area not connected to Discovery Island in the park. Has the Wildlife Express train, which is how you get to there. The conservation station, there's like animals that you can sometimes go out and pet. I mean, like supervised, obviously. And then the animation experience. That's something I've never had the opportunity to do at the Animal Kingdom, and I'd like to make the time to do it. And there's like a veterinary clinic back there
Oh.
where you can sometimes see animals getting little checkups.
Ben really wanted to go there when we were there for marathon weekend, and the time ran away from us and we never made it out there.
I feel like that happens so
Mm.
often. I feel like it's like, oh yeah, I would like to go back there, and it's just like, just doesn't happen.
It also
Doesn't happen as much as I want to.
closes earlier than the rest of the park, so you really
Yes.
do have to like plan ahead.
Yeah, it definitely does. And the safari also is prone to closure early. Asia, as mentioned before, has Cali River Rapids, which makes me chuckle because I'm thinking of my mom's dog named Cali River Rapids, which is a white raft water ride. Will get you soaked absolutely 100% if you're not careful. So definitely bring it's like one of those where the warning is you may get wet, you will get wet, you may get soaked. And that's pretty true to form. Because even if you survive the big drops, some of the stuff that happens after, or people sitting up there, they're like pressing a little button to like get you sprinkled by an elephant. Yeah, no. Good times. Always wonderful when it's really hot out. And a ride that opened in 2006, Expedition Everest.
Woo!
Very excellent ride. Which is the roller coaster of the park. Beware of the Yeti. And there's definitely some places to eat around there. There's Yak and Yeti. There's the Mandapur food truck area. There definitely is a frozen Coke place. There's also an ice cream place as you get closer to Everest, and Thirsty River Bar, which is very popular during the marathon. Sometimes they open that early for the marathon runners. And then, last but not least, because it's almost going extinct, is Dino Land USA. Originally started out as a small highway town where this is a story behind it. Amateur fossil hunters found dinosaur bones in 1947, and then they gathered their money, purchased the site. Since then, they've been trying to find answers about dinosaurs. So that's how the Dino Institute formed, and we opened the Restaurantosaurus, and they also had Chester and Hester come in, which created the little carnival. They're in the parking lot, which is the small amusement park called Chester and Hester's Dinorama, and had a ride out there called Primeval Whirl, which is a lot of this is in the past tense because now the Dinorama is closed because Dino Land is going bye-bye at the end of this year. It's already, the phased closure has begun. But some of the stuff that is still open, Dinosaur the ride, go get that dino. The Boneyard Playground, there's a Cretaceous Trail, and then the Dino Zoo. The list of former attractions is longer than what's open right now. Wow, that's a little sad. But Primeval Whirl was a ride that was open from 2002 to 2020. It never reopened after COVID. And I remember kind of watching that come down too. So I guess I've like slowly watched Dinoland just become dismantled over the last couple of years, because even the last few months, because Dinoland started its phased closure after the marathon this year, kind of watching things just go away. But yeah, that's a little bit of what's going on around the park. Actually, something that is considered part of Dinoland is the Theater in the Wild, which is
Really?
between. Yeah, I would have probably put that and as part of Asia, but I guess it's
Mhm.
part of Dinoland.
It is like a weird in between. But is that getting closed or is that staying open?
That'll stay open. Good question. But that has over the years, it's had a couple different shows in it, starting with Journey into the Jungle Book, which only ran for about a year. It had Tarzan Rocks from 1999 to 2006. And then since 2007, there's been some iteration of Finding Nemo. So Finding Nemo the musical was the original. And then what reopened when that reopened a couple years ago was Finding Nemo the Big Blue and Beyond, which had
Mhm.
some updates from the Finding Dory sequel with the story. And it's a little bit shorter, but yeah. um, Also, what's considered is Kite Tails fell under the purview of Dino Land, apparently. Apparently.
Okay.
Yeah, I feel like it might be a little. So, if you didn't know what Kite Tails was a beautiful, wonderful jet ski show
Mhm.
midday where they had these giant balloons and like they would like ski them around and they would just kind of like play music. It was actually a really cool little show. It just was a fever dream in and of itself.
When did they stop running that? Cuz it's been a hot minute, hasn't it?
Yes, it ran for the 50th, but it didn't live
Oh.
as long as the rest of the 50th celebration did. So it really only ran a year from
Oh.
2021 to 2022. I thought it was delightful.
Yeah,
It was
definitely.
hilarious. It was
I
funny.
mean, they don't utilize the little like amphitheater water show area as much as they definitely should at Animal Kingdom. I mean, you can get like obviously they have the river parade float things that go
The
around.
flotillas.
Yeah. But there's so much potential.
Yeah, they really did have a whole lot of potential. And the reason that that was open was because there was a nighttime show that ran for a few years. Because something with Animal Kingdom is that, especially in its first few operating years, it closed at like 6 p.m. And it does close
Mhm.
a lot earlier than the rest of the parks. It's like, oh, there's no nighttime show. Well, you can't really blow fireworks off when you
Mhm.
have a whole safari full of animals. No bueno, not good. Even when they've had the races, the Expedition Everest 5K, they just do like some smoke. They obviously
Mhm.
don't at the start line. But there was a show called Rivers of Light that was a nighttime spectacular. It only ran from like 2017 to 2020. It really didn't. It went through some modifications within that time. Where at one point, I believe it was in 2019 that they replaced a lot of the live actors on there, and I think I honestly caught it only a couple times and only little pieces of it as I like scurried back to Everest. But it's kind of this grand plan where Animal Kingdom was going to be open later at night. There were nighttime safaris. There was like nighttime in Pandora and whatnot. And that still hasn't really returned since COVID. But, well, I don't expect Rivers of Light to ever really return. However, the nighttime Animal Kingdom would be sweet if it did.
Mhm.
But yeah, I think that's
They have brought back after hours at
they
Animal
have.
Kingdom, so you do have some chances to experience the beauty that is Pandora after dark.
Yes, there are Moonlight Magic events for DVC members and stuff like that where it's just like, oh, I wish I could enjoy this more. But the nighttime safaris were always pretty cool too. Um, they like had some like backlighting so that you could see like enough of it so that you weren't just like seeing like I don't know eyes of like a lion peering out like, hey, what's up? But it was always really cool, and that'd be really awesome if they brought something like that back.
Mhm.
So now that we've done a nice virtual walk around the park, let's talk about some of what our favorite little parts of this place are.
Yeah. I mean, my favorite part will always, I think, be Everest just because it's such a core memory for me that we happened to be there opening when it opened. Um, and I remember like the fascination I had because back then I don't know, I wasn't very old, but I remember like even though the line was very, very long and who knows how long we waited, my mom had to keep like being like, "Hannah, come on, the line is moving. You got to," because I was stopping and reading everything in the line. I was reading about the different like exhibits that are in there and doing all that. And we rode the ride a bunch of times. And I remember we did come back for like, we either stayed right until close or for like some kind of after hours something because I know at the end of the day we were able to just like go around and around and around and around and it was the
Oh,
best day of my life.
that's amazing.
And that's like yeah, I really like that. I had actually never ridden dinosaur until this year, so I was like really sad about the whole closing business, but I've now ridden it many times and made Ben ride it with me, and I am very grateful that I was able to experience it with you.
Oh,
So, yeah, I like those parts, but Everest is for sure my favorite.
yeah. I mean, how do you beat it? So you and I have both seen Yeti before he was Disco Yeti.
Yeah, I mean, he used to move.
Yeah. Before that, like, broke the structural foundation. Imagine being that, like, baller. That I know that that's something that bothers Show Roadie, like, to this day, because they would have to, like, basically dismantle Everest, and
Yeah,
it would be, like, a several-year fix
yeah,
to fix the Yeti and, like, fix whatever is going on there. So, we call them Disco Yeti because they have, like, basically a strobe flash so
yeah.
that it, like, mimics him moving, but I also have seen Disco Yeti because my mom can correct me if I'm right. It was a DVC preview, I think, where we had
Mm.
like a soft open. So it was
Mhm.
around that time. But I remember even being a kid and being like at home and like talking to my friends about like, oh, they're doing this ride where you go backwards and or in Animal Kingdom, that's a mountain and stuff like that. And I remember like the height, like tangibly remember being in like second grade and hearing about that. No, opened a little bit later, but
Mhm.
that's a quite the memory. Um,
I imagine it is quite a memory for a lot of people. It is such an iconic part of the park.
oh yes. Well, it's funny because I'm also thinking of one of my old dance teammates. So the last year that I Irish danced competitively, nationals was in Orlando. It was
Because of
actually
course it was.
yeah. Honestly, that was kind of rare. And because it was like a big deal,
Mhm.
and it was at actually the Swan and Dolphin. And but anyway, my dance teacher's kids basically my mom volunteered to take them around with us. They were my age, so like it was just even better. Because she or so that they like weren't stuck in the hotel room while my dance teacher had like different meetings and stuff like that. So my mom has this memory of again this well like back in 2010 while we were kids of whatever my dance teammates like basically like her first time she's like I need to hold your hand like going on Everest down like the big drop because roller coasters weren't exactly like her big jam, but I remember just yeah we took them around or we had them around with us, so and then we had other teammates popping in and out, so it was definitely that was actually a core. And I remember mostly obviously we went to all the four parks, but I remember some of my like fondest memories from that trip being being around in Animal Kingdom and Hollywood Studios because we befriended we went on Tower of Terror so many times we like
Mhm.
befriended the cast members working at Tower and
Mhm.
Terror. um 'cause they were getting really into it, but gosh, there's so many just good memories and stuff with that park. I always love seeing the monkeys outside of Cali River Rapids. It's like, oh, like I like it's like a immediate monkey count because they have this big structure that the monkeys will play around on. Um, yeah, there's a lot of just core memories just in
Mhm.
the animal kingdom. How many good safaris were, you see like the lion. Like I remember one time it had been pouring outside and my whole family was on a trip, and we like basically like it was people like basically in animal kingdom like there's like if when it rains and like if it's lightning and shuts stuff down, then like there's only a couple things that are inside, but anyway. But I remember the lions were every all the animals, because it had cooled off a little, were so
Mm.
active, and like we had like lions like up and like moving around.
Ooh.
It was crazy. But I obviously I'm a big proponent of the Nomad Lounge.
Yes.
Love the Nomad Lounge.
That poor woman when we went. So Natalie and I went together, but Natalie got on a bus before I did, and I met her there. And Natalie went in, and by the time I got there to sit in Nomad Lounge at the bar, there was nothing available. And so I was just sitting because there's a walk up wait list for basically everywhere except the bar. If it's the bar, you just have to wait.
Mhm.
There's no list to put your name on. And so I'm just sitting on the ground outside, and the poor woman kept being like, "Are you sure you don't want to be on the walk up wait list? Are you sure?" I was like, "I'm sitting my butt right here until a spot opens up because I'm not letting anyone possibly get in front of me."
Yeah, that's still one of those things where I didn't realize how close behind me you were, because I think you were finishing it. You had to take some calls or something that morning.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So I thought you were a lot further behind me.
Yes, just to be clear, Natalie did not ditch me. There was a completely valid reason why I was behind her, but
Yeah, it was. I thought you were like, I was like, oh, and it's fine. Like, I'll come back. I love the Nomad Lounge. I love everything on the Nomad Lounge menu. I love all the experiences have at the Nomad Lounge. I love Nomad. I love Nomad. I'm very thankful to the monorail crew for introducing me to the idea of Nomad. Um, love me. I could drink a Kungaloosh beer right now. So good. So good. Well, I don't want to. In continuing to kind of wax poetically about the animal kingdom, because there's just so many just times, because there's so many just holes in the wall that you can
Mhm.
walk around in, and just little like I stand by my opinion that I think this is the ultimate day drinking park. Yes, it can be hot at Animal Kingdom. I know a
It's
lot of
way
people.
cooler though than Epcot or
Thank
anywhere else.
you. Thank you. It is not a concrete jungle. There is shade at Animal Kingdom. Okay? There's shade there.
It's so much better. It's so much better.
There's it's like we've learned from certain like operational things, because it's the fourth of four parks at Walt Disney World at this moment. Not counting the water parks. So, like guys, like the Animal Kingdom is an elite day drinking park. There is shade there. There's a lot of like small little holes in the wall where
Mhm.
you can get good drinks.
I
There's Nomad Lounge.
Yeah, I would argue because people are gonna say, "Well, but Epcot has so much variety because there's all the different countries." There is a large amount of variety in Animal Kingdom as well.
Exactly. You can get a lot of unique stuff in Animal Kingdom. Restaurantosaurus, which will be closing rip, but that bar, I know like it's not easy. I feel like well, I know that there's lots of places to get mojitos on property, but in terms of something that's like a quick little walk up type of deal like that, like I don't have to be sitting and
Yeah.
spending a ton of money.
The lines
Uh,
can get really long at Epcot, and I don't really feel like you get that same experience at Animal Kingdom. Nothing is too like, "Oh, you're gonna be waiting a long time."
except Nomad, but that's okay.
Except Nomad, and if you wanna, like, actually sit down and eat food, like, right at peak lunchtime, maybe
Yeah.
you'll have a wait, but, like, for bar type stuff, with the exception of Nomad, you're probably not gonna be waiting a really, really long time.
Yeah. You can get a roadie from Nomad.
Yeah.
I did have to wait for that too, but I had no regrets. It was marathon day, so what else was I going to do?
Mhm,
Obviously I needed my celebration beer. But yeah, I think that there's so many just little places to go
mhm.
that you can go, everybody. And listen up. Except don't listen so closely that my hidey holes become popular. Unless if we did a Stride Sisters DAC crawl, oh, let's go. Let's go.
Maybe that's what we do for Princess next year.
Oh, don't threaten me with a good time.
Because we
That
know that
sounds so
marathon
fun.
weekend is way too hectic for that.
True.
But Princess or Wine and Dine.
Or springtime.
Or springtime. Many options. Not marathon, though. I just have too much during marathon.
Yeah, there's a lot going on during marathon weekend. I came across some of my old like stories because I was trying to figure out when exactly. I just looking through some stuff and I was like, and I had to think of like, if you're not double fisting through DAC, what are you doing? Like, okay, honey. I was left unsupervised all day. In my defense, good times. But yeah, there's a lot of different good foods. I feel like there's lots of good snacks too. Again, like there's a lot of unique things around here. So if you're looking for stuff that's like outside of your standard theme park food, like don't worry, my mom still gets her frozen Coke. There is a frozen Coke stand. There is soft serve. Like those things are still there. Like you will be able to find a Mickey pretzel, but stuff like I know they have like buffalo chicken bites. I think Trilo bites, which that'll be going extinct too because it's in Dino Land, but it still is open now.
They might rename it though and put it somewhere else.
Yeah,
But they could totally sell those at Flame Tree.
Flame Tree is like it's good, and it's like every time I usually am not, I guess, in the middle because okay, if I'm going to a quick service in Animal Kingdom, it's Satuli.
Mm-hmm.
It's Satuli. But every time like I do pop into Flame Tree, it's like, oh, this hits. This is good.
Mm-hmm. That's on Ben's list every single time. We have not yet made it to go to get all the things he wants from there. But this year, I think this year we're going to prioritize all the places Ben wants to go. So we actually finally get to check them off.
Fair. See, sometimes I give those options to Mr. Natalie and he goes, I want pizza fries or I want safari fries from Rainforest Cafe. I'm like, okay, you just got your choices taken away from you.
Privileges are revoked.
Yes. Privilege, like into the pit you go. But in talking about a bunch of our favorite, because I guess my very first visit to the Animal Kingdom was actually apparently the year it opened.
Whoa!
That was my first trip to Disney. I was like 2.5 in that summer. And we went a couple months after it opened.
I'd have to look through the scrapbook. I'm not sure. Maybe my mom will comment and let us know.
There's some pictures of me at Camp Mini Mickey, RIP, which I also remember. I remember going to when I was a little bit older as well, before they took it down for Pandora. But I can't say I really remember being 2.5 at Disney. You know, but I was pretty little. I was pretty cute. I was pretty cute. But we're gonna get into some of a lot of you guys shared memories with us of some of your love letter to Disney's Animal Kingdom. So we'll get into some of that.
And if you're not on our Facebook page and you want to be able to participate in episodes like this in the future, that's where to go.
Excellent. Hannah, you want to kick it off with the first one?
Sure. Anne left us this memory. My favorite memory of Animal Kingdom ever was doing the Wild Africa trek on New Year's Day in 2024. My husband, myself, and 2 kids did it. I was a bit worried that my 2 kids would chicken out, especially on the rope bridge over the croc enclosure, but they were super excited about the whole thing. We finished with lunch over the savannah, which was incredible. We got dozens of fantastic pictures. It ruined the Kilimanjaro safari for us since the trek is so fascinating and spends more time I can't read, guys. The trek is so fascinating and spends more time with the animals. The truck parked in front of the cheetah enclosure and waited 15 minutes for them to move. This was the week before my first Dopey, which made it extra special. It was a terrific way to start off my week-long Dopey experience. and she had a very cute pic. And I think we're going to share that if you go over to our Instagram for this week's episode.
Yes. I've done Wild Africa Trek before as well. I did it with my mom in 2017, and I actually did it on Eclipse Day
Ooh.
when like the big and the
Mm-hmm.
I guess it was probably the eclipse that I think maybe it was like as because there've been obviously eclipses since, but I remember going into it and going, "Oh, we don't know like they're like we don't know what the animals are going to do." And like are the giraffes going to be confused and like go to bed or like think it's bedtime or what? But it was awesome. It's really, really an incredible tour. It's a couple hours long, I believe 3.5 if I remember correctly. It does spoil you for the it also it makes me appreciate the safari itself more, but it just like every time I see people out there, I'm like, oh, that's so cool. I want to do that again. I definitely that's something Mr. Natalie is very interested in doing as well. And it's really awesome to take like lunch out on the safari or out on the savannah
Yeah, that
and just
sounds
look
awesome.
out. Oh, it's amazing. It's absolutely incredible.
Similar to my to be read list, my TBR, the list of things that I want to do at Disney continues to grow and grow, and I don't know if I'll ever finish it all.
Yeah, because then they're going to keep changing and doing stuff, and it's awesome. It's
Mhm.
definitely awesome. But there are some other different tours that you can do. Leslie, I did my first behind the scenes tour at Animal Kingdom during Princess this year. I got to see baby Cora. Baby Cora is
Ooh.
an elephant, a baby elephant, and she definitely included a picture of the elephant.
Oh, yeah,
So,
definitely head to Instagram for all the photos, guys.
yes, it's really awesome. That there are some different tours because I believe you have to be 18 to do Wild Africa Trek. There
Okay.
is an age limit on that, but I know you can be a little bit younger to do the experiences. There's one with rhinos, there's one with elephants. I believe there's another one, but I can't remember off the top of my head right now what the other tour is. But they're definitely awesome. Definitely a good way to teach your kids a little bit more about animals and have like animal encounters in that way. And some of the money that like of within the tour does go to conservation efforts. So I remember when I did Wild Africa Trek, I was able to select, I don't know, they gave us like a coin. They're like, this is the percent, or they told us what the percentage was of like basically you get to pick like which animal you wanted to kind of conserve for.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't actually remember what I picked because I remember being kind of torn, but I remember putting like this like and then this percentage of whatever is going to go towards conservation efforts for this specific animal. You want to take the next one?
Yeah. From Michelle, Animal Kingdom is one of my favorites. I love the Lion King show. That movie and show is near and dear because my kiddo played Pumbaa in her school play. Aww. I also got to see a baby tiger. Honestly, that's one of the really exciting parts of Animal Kingdom is because they're working on conservation and they're working on um I don't even know, but they always have like baby animals coming out every so often, and it's nice to see. Um, it's like a real life like show of like the progress and all the work that they put in, I guess.
Yeah, it's outstanding. All right, I'm going to take one from our DMs. Uh, this is from Emily. And did you know that you can be selected as the family of the day to open Animal Kingdom? I
Ooh.
didn't until a few weeks ago during Springtime Surprise Weekend. My husband and I were in line for early entry, and a cast member I had said hello to when we arrived came over and pulled us out of line. Knowing to always follow cast member instructions, we obliged. After some brief chit chat, he told us that we'd been selected as first family/family of the day, and we would get to open the park. Plus, we got cool buttons. Not only did this mean we got to enter about a minute before everyone else, I got to press a button labeled as Magic that started the welcome announcement. Then we boogied our way to Flight of Passage, where we were part of the first flight of the day. It was truly a magical experience to open the park and walk through a bit of it entirely by ourselves.
That's oh my goodness, that's amazing.
She said she has a reel if you're interested. We will absolutely
Uh
repost that.
uh-huh.
Absolutely. That's like a dream.
That's honestly, that might even be cooler to me than getting selected to be in the parade at Magic Kingdom.
Yeah. That is so freaking cool.
I'm jealous, so jealous. I doubt I will ever be selected, but oh my gosh, that's the coolest thing I've heard of in a long time.
Right? Like, imagine, like, there's so many magical moments that happen at the animal kingdom. Everyone who's leaving after a couple hours, you're missing out, man. You're missing out.
For sure. Our next one is from David. He says, make sure to give a shout out to Rafiki's Planet Wash. Don't worry, we did. Where you can get a real drawing lesson from a Disney animator and see the vets treating animals. Gosh, I love Animal Kingdom. We love Animal Kingdom too. I have not gotten out there in a while, so we'll have to put it on the list for next time.
Yes. Draw will be like, we'll draw something, be like, who drew this? Natalie, Hannah,
Oh
Ben,
my
Natalie's
gosh,
mom.
yes.
Wait, that'd be so fun.
Yeah, we'll do a whole carousel. It'll be like, guess who, and rank one to however many.
It's like the gingerbread things where people are like, did you like rate the gingerbread houses? Wait, after the day drinking too. Um I've heard that if you do the animation experience, that like basically like they don't give you an eraser on your pencil because you don't have time.
Mm-hmm.
So do it right the first time.
We should do it twice. We should do it first thing in the morning, do the day drinking bar crawl with our listeners, and then we do it again and see the difference.
Oh my god, that'd be so funny. Especially if for some reason you got the same picture. Like the same, like drawing Scar twice. You're like, ugh. Wait, that would be so fun. We should like actually plan that.
Maybe we'll get better.
Yeah. I mean, it's like when you play certain games, sometimes, you know, the lowered inhibition makes me not think as hard, and then I like nail it in beer pong. And then sometimes it's like, oops. I didn't mean to hit the air throw that at you. Good times. Good times. I'm going to take this next one from Maz. Ooh, an Animal Kingdom episode? The Expedition Everest 5K, a nighttime Animal Kingdom race with the chaos of the rain, was without a doubt one of the most fun times that I've ever had in the Disney parks. Running through Pandora at night with all the bioluminescence glowing was just the coolest. Can we get a shout out to all the great food at Animal Kingdom in DAC 2? Nomad, churros, Nomad ribs, rip, Satuli. Riding Expedition Everest from when I arrived to when the park closed was another special memory. 31 rides in a day is my record, and I will break it one day.
That's insane. What do we know what the highest, like, has someone posted somewhere on the YouTube or what the highest number of rides in a day is?
We're gonna have to call in Maz for that one.
Yeah.
And ask her specifically.
We'll find out. But 31 is very high. I mean, I've ridden a lot in single rider, but 31 is a lot.
Yeah, that's a lot, and that's awesome. I think it was this last trip, maybe, or maybe it was, I don't know, sometime in this year, I believe, is her record. But I'm gonna need her to fact check me on that one. Yell at me. I was obviously there for that Expedition Everest 5K. That's an event I really, really hope comes back at some point.
The 5K is so popular too. Like they could do the Expedition Everest 5K as like a separate thing on another weekend, and it would for sure sell out.
Oh yeah.
Like it doesn't have to be a part of a normal race weekend.
For my wallet it does, but yeah, I agree with you. Because yeah, I will find myself down there for the Expedition Everest 5K again. Oopsie. It'd be fun to actually do the scavenger hunt and the way it was supposed to be done. Because I remember like some of the puzzles were kind of like fun and like a little tricky, or I just wasn't paying a lot of attention. There's a couple things going on there, but maybe it was a little column A, a little column B, but I just remember like saying that Maz and I were frolicking is probably like the best way to describe it. We were frolicking through the animal kingdom. And it was, again, nighttime Animal Kingdom, doing character stops. And at that point, it was still like distance because it was in 2022, the one time they last ran it. And frolicking is how I would describe that. Just, it was lovely and wonderful. And I hope that that's something that, we're coming up on that anniversary of Springtime Surprise too. So be like really cool if they, brought it back. Because we're going to hit the 5-year or 5th Springtime Surprise this year.
Very special.
Very much so. I definitely have some more that I did not write in our outline.
You guys bombarded us with so many memories, we couldn't even get them all typed out in time.
Exactly, which is lovely. I love that.
All right, we have one from Tori. She says, one time I got to see a lion getting its checkup at the hospital at Rafiki's Planet Watch. Tori and David, y'all should become friends and like chat about your love for Rafiki's Planet Watch. And she has a picture of it somewhere. Tori, make sure you send that our way because we'll share it on the Instagram.
Absolutely. My mom came in. Animal Kingdom is my favorite. I loved when we were able to early preview Expedition Everest, DVC, before the ride opened to the public. And the Yeti worked. It's like we have the same brain or something. A funny memory on Cali River Rapids on a cold day in either January or February. I can't remember. And Dad, along with you kids, refused to put on rain ponchos.
Oof.
Sure enough, Dad got drenched, but I was dry. I laughed all the way off the ride because I was teased so much by Dad for wearing my poncho, but at least my clothes were still dry. Wild Africa Trek tour was a blast, minus the driving rain in our faces going across the rope bridge. Oof. I think I blocked that out. Yes, because not only was it the eclipse, it rained that day too.
Dang.
Scary. The safari is my absolute favorite ride, and I have seen so many great animal interactions. Overall, A+ park.
That it is. That it is.
Have 2 more from our Facebook group. Yeah, Trisha said the first time I ever set foot in Animal Kingdom was actually during the marathon in 2023.
What?
What a first impression.
Wild.
That was a hot, toasty, humid day. Yeah.
I bet. Dang.
Yeah, yeah.
I bet it was, I don't know. It's like, it was pretty busy this past year. So I bet it was a busy intro to.
Yeah, it was. I was there.
Mm-hmm.
It was, I remember. Because that was, yeah, quite the introduction. Because it was really starting to heat up by that point. Because the whole time up to then, I'm like, I'm going to go buy a cooling towel in Animal Kingdom. And then I didn't see a cart with a cooling towel in Animal Kingdom. And that's when I also lied to myself. Like, I'm not going to go on Everest. And went on Everest during the marathon. So that's also a pretty core memory for me of, the whole, I have so much time of buffer. I'm just gonna get in the line. If it takes too long, I'm gonna go out, and then they walk you on to, or the whole train of runners on Expedition Everest during the marathon. And even though my bib ripped as the lap bar came down, or I pulled down the lap bar, and I was holding on to dear life to my dopey bib.
Oh.
Good times. I just glued my hand there, and I'm in the back. I'm in the 3rd row of my car. So like my picture, you got to see my face. You can only see one hand up because the other one's holding onto my bib. But that's definitely a core memory because I remember as like the train starts and it's going around, I'm like, what am I doing? I'm literally riding a ride during a marathon. So I need to do that again this marathon. I'm committing myself to it. Hold me accountable, everybody. If you see me try to pass Everest, yell at me, unless we're too close to balloons, in which case, don't yell at me. That's the good decision. But this dopey, it's Shenanigan Land. It's Shenanigan Land.
And then our final memory is from Brandy. And she says, AK is my favorite park. Animal Kingdom Lodge is my favorite hotel. So the Everest nighttime 5K was epic, and I wish that would come back. Best race ever.
Yeah, me too. We can start a petition. You, me, Brandy, Maz. I'm sure there's more people who are Gary, who's been missing this whole time, because that was part of the thing, is that you're on it was a scavenger hunt to find Gary, and he was lost. So we have to, I'm sure Gary would like to be rescued at some point. It's been like a decade-ish at this point. He'd probably would like to be found, or he's just hanging out in the animal kingdom, so he
He's
doesn't
living,
want to be found.
yeah, he's living his best life in the oasis.
That's true. He's hanging out with the otters. I think there was just a baby otter born too recently.
Ooh.
Or there was definitely some news about otters. But it always new life. It's Animal Kingdom. It's a living park, everybody. Living park. Oh, and it's ever changing. So, as you mentioned, Dinoland USA began its phased closure on the 13th of January 2025 to make way for Tropical Americas, which will be set in the fictional town of Pueblo Esperanza. It's going to see some Encanto rides, and it's apparently like a really sweet boat ride. And we'll see Dinoland, or Dinosaur, I mean, will become an Indiana Jones ride set in a completely new story as compared to the West Coast version. So, in a Mayan ruin.
Do we think they're going to actually change the track, though?
No, I don't think
Right?
so,
So
unless
just
there's something
just
wrong.
retheme, right? So it'll
Well,
still be like the same ride, in the sense of the same way that Dinosaur and Indiana Jones on the West Coast are the same ride. They're just different
yeah.
views.
Yeah, unless there's some like underlying like stuff wrong with the dino track, which I think it was just the animatronics, the dino animatronics that they had
That were going out.
yeah, they were
Very
starting
very expensive to fix.
yes. But yeah, it's not going to be like how Guardian sits on where Ellen's Energy Adventure was, but there is not a single remnant left of Ellen's Energy Adventure. It's more that they're keeping their track, to my knowledge, unless there's issues. And then It's Tough to Be a Bug, which is in the Tree of Life, closed on March 17th of 2025 to make way for Better Zoogether, which is about Zootopia.
How
which will
punny.
open in winter 2025. So sometime this year.
Really?
Yeah, winter 25 is I think they already got to work on it.
Dang. Why does your note say winter 2027 then?
Because I'm a ding dong. And I meant that 2027 is when the Tropical Americas is expected to.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
That's not too bad. That's pretty quick for a whole new land. Considering Pandora took 6 years of planning and 3 years of execution, and who knows how long they've been planning this, but
yeah. Well, I mean, if you want to count when they were blue skying and stuff like that,
Yeah.
but I know even it being 2024, or it's sorry, 2027, they announced it in 2024, and I know a lot of people were a little bit skeptical about that.
Mm-hmm.
Of like, why is it going to take so long to do that, and blah 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 blah. I don't know. I'm just kind of excited to see, what happens and how the future of the park. It'll be exciting to see something so new, and as it is sad to see like the remnants of Dino Land come down.
Mm-hmm.
Rip Cementosaurus, rip a lot of that area, but I think that what'll come will be really, really incredible, and it'll be just one wild time. Anything else you want to say in our little love letter to the Disney's Animal Kingdom?
Just I love you.
Yes. You're not a half-day park to me. I could spend all day. I spent so much a marathon weekend there this year, like more than I think I've spent. Like, I know I spent more time in Dino Land because it was the end of Dino Land. Partial part of Dino Land, the Chester and Hester's Dinorama. Spent a lot more time there than I had spent in a long time. Played some carnival games. Just cleared those out of my Disney backpack. Because I kept one of the tickets for posterity. But yeah, it's a definitely a special park. I know I'm excited to run through. I'm curious to see how the marathon course will change. Unless they don't start because right now with the way that it's closed or with what's closed, because, okay, speculation time.
There's always got to be a Speculation Nation segment.
Yes, there does. So the way that things are right now, so it's the Chester and Hester's Dinorama area, but is what's closed. It's behind walls, construction walls. And what you do with the marathon course as is you run on around past. Basically, what I'm saying is that like it's not really affected. It's just that there's no Triceratops spin right next to you on your left, like to like that's all just behind walls. I guess I can't say about what's going on backstage, obviously, but maybe they don't close it because they just have 2026 as when Dinosaur closes. So maybe it's not till after the marathon.
Yeah, maybe the big construction won't happen, and then they'll basically take one solid year. Well, if it's winter of 20. But wait, but if they're gonna open. Yeah, no, never mind. There's a lot of nonverbal brain.
The wheels are turning.
Yes. Okay, it all works out. The math checks out.
The maths. But yeah, we don't know. We don't know what the future holds. I'd love to see another nighttime race come through. Oh, I guess they're probably, if they're going to start closing stuff, they probably aren't going to do an Animal Kingdom 5K at night, aren't they? Well, maybe it's Delulu World. It's Delulu World, but maybe they will after. Maybe they will at all.
Oh, yeah.
That would be sweet if they did it after they have everything reopened, everything in its refresh. But if you're looking for more content to celebrate Earth Day on Animal Kingdom, there is the Magic of Disney's Animal Kingdom on Disney+. I wish I could say that this is something that was like sponsored or something, considering I just went into like this, I don't know, ad read voice. Not that, again, we do ad reads, but it's a really cool, if you want to learn a little bit about that and a little bit about like the care of the animals, some of the different like procedures and stuff. If you really like seeing when, a lion goes in for a checkup, it's pretty cool to go watch. And you can watch from home. Oh, go into Rafiki's Planet Watch, and then you can also watch from home. If you enjoy listening to our show, please leave us a review and a 5-star rating. We love reading your reviews out loud, and you might even be featured on a future podcast episode. We have a community spotlight on our Instagram at Stride Sisters Podcast. If you want to be featured for a Medal Monday, Finish Line Friday, or any accomplishment you want to celebrate, send us a picture via our social media platforms or our email. And to continue the fun, join us on our Facebook page. All the ways to connect with us can be found in the show notes. Thanks for listening. Until our next adventure, we're wishing you endless miles of magic and memories. See you next time.